Discussing about Java Swing, and in the last module we have discussed some components in it, and there are few more components which we are going to cover in this module. So, first component that here J separator. J separator is a new one which was not there in AWT, and the J separator basically as it is shown here, it looks like a separator in the sense that it will basically divide the display area into two parts with the different shadings look like, and it has two constructors and the two methods. And here is a simple example which will show the usage of J separator in any Windows program. As we see here, so this is basically the J separator. This J separator includes the menu, and whenever you click menu, some items will appear there. So, in the J separator some other things also can be added. We will discuss about the tab and other menus also can be added, like, and if you select, then menu item will be there. So, this is basically the usage of the J separator in your program, and this program you can understand yourself, and it is very simple that you will be able to follow it how it works there. And J progress bar usually we are familiar to whenever you are some downloading or saving some file or copying some from one source to another. Usually a progress bar will show that how much percentage of things that we have done. So, progress bar is a dynamic components, and this is a look of a progress bar. Now, in your Java program also you can have a progress bar in, and then you can show it. So, there are 4 constructors to do it, and then it has some methods by which different information about the progress bar can be extracted, and this is a simple example by which you can show. We have given the two outputs, like in the middle way how when the progress bar is working, and then when the finished job is there. So, this is a simple example that you can try, and you can see how it will work in your program. And then J tree, this is very interesting on swing components. J tree, actually we are also familiar to these things whenever we browse a directory, and then that so it basically shows what are the subdirectories under a directory, what are the files under the subdirectories like. So, the entire tree will look like this. It can be maintained using a component class only, from which the information can be obtained from the drive. So, it has the 3 constructors, and it is a simple example which basically shows how a J tree can be shown, can be used. As we see here, we declare this is basically the one, we can say the style is the one root. Under this root there is a 2 nodes, it is nodes. Under this again nodes, there are sub nodes actually. Now, you see how we can create it is basically style. It is basically the default mutable mu-tree node. This is the file which is there in class, which is declared there in swing package. We have to use it, and then we can create style, and then we can create other what is called the menu node, like say color and font. Now, here you see style dot add color, that means we add color as a part of the style, then add font as a part of the style, like style under style color and under style font. Then we can add some other mu node under this color. So, it is basically we define it, and under this color dot add red, this means we go into the color red. So, this way tree of any branches after the another branches can be created. So, this is a simple example which basically tell you how the Java tree can be created whenever it is required in your program. So, this is the idea about J tree, and the next is J color chooser. This is also very interesting. Probably you know, whenever you use any Word application like MS Word, and whenever you have to decide the font of a color of a font, then you have to choose it, and then color can be chosen from a color pen. So, here is the color pen look like, and you can choose any one color, and then that color can be set in there. Instead of writing color dot blue, color dot green, like any other color can be added here. So, by default it will have, this is the color chosen with say 200 colors, like you can add more colors into it also, there is a possibilities, those things can be done by this constructor, and there is a method by which the color chooser items can, which color it has been chosen, the value of that color can be used there. So, again this is a simple program for practice, you can practice this program, you can see how the color can be chosen. Here is basically one button is added, and using this button the action handler is there. If you click it, that color chooser option will pop up, and then from there you can select some color, and that color will be selected, and using that color if you write something, if you draw something, that will be with that color, and then color can be resetted. And here is also, see, whatever the recent color that you have used, that also will be displayed to you. It is very similar to okay, it is in the context of say Microsoft Word or this kind of things, it is there, the same concept it can. So, using this color chooser you can develop our very sophisticated and smart program, Windows program. And the tab pen is basically very much essential one component, which is also new, not there in the AWT. And using these things, it basically, if you create a frame, in this frame lot of other tabs is there. If you know Excel, and you know probably at the bottom there are a lot of tabs will be there, that tabs corresponding to the page 1, page 2, or more probably it is called the sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, like that. So, these are the tab, and you can rename this tab. So, this name is sheet 1, this is sheet 2, or say photo album 1, album 2, album 3, or whatever it is there. So, it basically helps to develop a program, develop a Windows program which to organize the different menu items on the frame itself, and it can be placed, again the constructor is there, the tab can be placed either in the top or usually bottom. So, usually the by default the top tab pen is there, and then otherwise you can customize into according to your. So, here is basically J tab pen, and then J tab pen in tab placement, int is basically the placement, the 0, 1, these are the two things are there, otherwise in the left side also, bottom side. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, these are the different value that can be mentioned, and this basically table layout policy, that means the tab pen if it is there, if you want to add more items into it, then what will be the layout manager that you can follow. And it has the simple example for your practice. Again you can see how the tab pen will appear into a frame which is included in a container. And then J slider is another one example which is also new, which is not there in AWT, and as you see this is a basically usual look of a slider. Using the mouse you can just select a slider, and then slider can be dragged to show that this is the position that you want to have. So, this way the different value can be entered into the system, and if you press OK, at the position the slider has released, it will basically get the same value and it return to the system. It has the few constructor and then methods, and this is the one simple program for your practice. You can run it and you can see this how it will work, and then you can click using mouse, you can drag and move the slider into any positions and release it like that. And then J spinner is also similar to the slider, but here actually the numerical value is a at the continuous range or some discrete range, both can be defined, can be utilized here. Here is basically it is like look like whenever you have to select font size, usually you know in the Microsoft Word or other Word documents processor, there is basically this kind of spinner is there. If you click it, then it will change it. If you keep on clipping, then the value automatically will increase, and then it will release it, then that value will be selected, and then if you press it OK, then that value is selected like this. So, this is a usual look of a J spinner, and it has the two constructors and two methods, and this is one simple example by which a J spinner with some default values can be planned, and you can change the different values. Here we can see the J spinner whenever it is display with initial value 5, and it has range 0 to 10. So, we can decide what is the range. So, for example, 0 to 100 also we can decide it, and then this is basically the step, that means how much incrementation, 0, 1 like this one. If we say 0.5, that means the rate of increment that can be specified here. So, this is a different way the J spinner can be controlled. You can you can run this program with different settings, and then you can get how the J spinner will look like this here. And J file chooser is basically whenever you have to develop a system program like, and then J file chooser is usually more preferable. Here basically whatever the files are there in the current directory, it will select it and then it will display, and then it will allow to generate many events by selecting a particular file and then saving it or copying it or opening it, whatever it is there. So, this basically look like the component according to JFileChooser in Java Swing. It has 4 constructors, and this is a simple program that you can check of your own. These are the different folder that we have included here. In this folder, whatever the files it is there, it basically will be displayed there. So, you can try it and then you can have fun regarding running and you see how it is there. If you specify the different directory, according to that directory, whatever the files it is there, that files will be displayed automatically. And then JToggle button, it is also button, but the difference that it has only toggling either on, off or open, close or male, female, this kind of things are there. So, binary pattern it is there. It has 2 constructors, so many constructor and then methods, and it is an example. As you see, we have created one button and then it has 2 fields on and off, and how this, if you click it here, automatically on will be toggled to off, and whenever it is off, it is click it or toggle to on. So, toggling is occurs whenever there is an event occurs, and then it can be that button value will be automatically set accordingly, and then that value will be used for some other requirement that is there in your program. And then JToolbar, it is very similar to the menu item itself. It has the 2 constructors and then so many methods are there, and this is an example. As we see the file, edit, option 1, like in under this option 1, so many other things are there. So, it is called the toolbar, like it is just similar to the menu bar, but it is specially named as toolbar and we can use it. So, as it is used to develop some tools, that is why it is the name is toolbar. And JViewPort, it is just like a text area look like, but it is or it is also very similar to the panel. Panel also has a special area that can be viewed in a separate way, like, and it has the 2 classes, 2 nested class in it, and then it has the 2 different values, and then constructor, only one constructor, and there are so many methods, and it is an example which basically display a JViewPort, and then the background and everything can be chosen there, and the different setting, style, the different theme also can be included, and those things you can use the different constructor to do that. Okay, so, you can try with the same thing. Here I have used the default constructor, but my advice is that you can try with the different constructor that I have already mentioned and then run this program. It is applicable to all examples that I have instead there. I have used only one constructor, but for your practice, for your learning, you should try all these things with the different constructors. And the different method also you can call. Once this object is created, you can see what is the method returns, and then you can try to print this method on the windows, or you can try to print the method using GDrosting into the same frame like this one. So, you can understand that what they are doing for you actually, and then this is just okay starting point. You have to ultimately you have to use to develop your program, that you can decide one project, and then for that project you can think that what you want to have, and then accordingly try to realize it, and that is all. Basically, this is the way of learning this kind of concept, it is there. So, this is the JViewPort, and then I will come to the container class there. As you see, this is the component. There are so many components we have covered in this module as well in the last module, and then so far the container is concerned there are 3 things are there: frame, panel, dialog box, and one container is also applet. So, applet also can be added here, although we have not used any examples for that, but it is basically if you create one program which extends an applet, and whatever the component you want to add can be added into the applet also, which we have already given the enough illustration discussion in the while we are discussing about AWT. So, applet is very same, we just ignore it here in this discussion. Anyway, so far the container is concerned, as you see, container includes window, it can include panel and also frame, dialog, and it can also include applets. So, these are the whole what is called the concept. So far the container in Java Swing is concerned there, and all those things are there in AWT itself. So, it is an addition with some better what is called the look and feeling. Now, let us see what is the JPanel it is there. and as we see a panel can include within another panel and so on so on. So, it can be nested, that is why it is called the nested facility, which was not there in AWT of course, and it has the constructor like panel, and then it has one argument is double buffered, that means all the contents can be stored, and the layout manager means which layout manager, if you want to add many more items into the panel itself, then which is the layout manager that you have to follow. Layout manager concept is same as the layout manager that we have discussed in java.awt, that means flow layout, border layout, grid layout, card layout, all those things are applicable here also. That is why they do not have any explicit or special bearing in Java Swing, that is why it is not included here. And this is an example about how the panel can be there. As you see here entirely this is basically a frame, this is the entire frame, in this frame a panel is there, and in this panel two buttons are added here. So, this is the example, and for this output the program will look like as it is shown here. So, you can run this program and you can see the output, and you can change many parameters in the program that we have used there, and then you can see it. For example, the background of the panel can be changed, and then button, instead of button you can add some other components into it, whatever it is there. You can do a lot of experiments, and starting this program you can start changing many things and then learn it. So, this is the idea actually that I want to mention. And so, this is the panel, and then like frame, we have already familiar to frame concept, there is an AWT, is the same concept it is here also. It is also nested class, means frame is defined inside the component class, that is why it is called the nested class. It has some fields like exit on close, root pan checking enable, these are the fields, and it has the 4 constructor for the different way the frame can be initialized. Actually all constructors are for initializing the object whenever we create it. So, there are default constructor, and then some graphics can be added. It basically this graphics is for style, a frame can be with the different style, shading, color, background, all these things are there. The frame can be added using some title also, and both title and then configure, and also it is there. Frame can be without any title like this one. So, these are the constructor that can be used there while you are in the program, and there are so many methods. Using these methods the information about a panel can be extracted, which can be utilized for controlling your program. And this is a simple example. As you see, it is a frame, and this frame includes one simple button, and then it will basically use it. And then this program is okay. As you see here, a label is also used in this frame. So, label button is labeled as label button, and then the frame is created as a show frame, it is there. Title is JFrame by example. So, this is the one thing that we have used in a simple container, but the same thing again if you can repeat it here, just only change it. What change you should do it? For example, you want to include these things into an applet, that means we want to add a frame into an applet. Only simple change you should do, public class JFrame extends applet, and then main method should not be there. Instead of main method you can write some init method here you can, and then code include all these codes, that is all. It will basically create a frame, and then frame includes some other elements like. So, it is a simple that we have already experienced while we are discussing about AWT, how a component can be added into an applet, how a component can be added into frame like. So, this is the idea about frame. And then calculator, let us see one idea about. We have already given one illustration about how a calculator will look like if you use AWT. Now, that time also we have explained, we have mentioned that the calculator is not pretty look good, and lot of other styling that you have to do from the programmer end only, so that a calculator can looks very good and more elegant is there. However, Java Swing has lot of simplicity, so that a calculator can be easily drawn according to the nice view of it without much headache about the programmer here. And as you see here, this is a very good looking calculator, and this is the calculator that we can develop using Swing components easily. So, I will give you the step by step whatever the methods that we can follow to develop such a calculator. So, what are the method that is required, and then designing a calculator is basically a first hand practice actually. If you can design a calculator successfully, then you can earn lot of confidence about how the swing can be utilized to develop any app, any application for your requirement that we can suit to your requirement. Now, first the method that we should mention is that so we have to add whether component, which are the component that needs to be used, that say suppose we have to create this as a frame or is a panel, then you have to add this component, and then adds other components, those will be included in this one. So, here actually as we see so all buttons are there. So, we can see 16 buttons as well as one equals button, total altogether 17 buttons are there, and in addition to 17 buttons, as you see one text field area is there. So, as you see these are the 17 buttons, right, and this is basically the frame area, and in this frame area there is another text field also there. So, the entire is the frame, and in this frame there is one text field area, and these are the button and this one there, and buttons are now included in this component. Obviously, we can follow certain layout manager, maybe say grid layout manager. So, we can create a grid layout like this one, then accordingly we can decide it, and if you use the flow layout manager also you can do that. Whatever the way you can do, no issue. So, you can adjust it. So, these are the 17 buttons you can customize to place it. Say suppose equals button, you can say this one, so right aligned or it is there. We have used the center align for this one like. So, anyway, so these are the buttons and then text field and then the background. These are the few things that you have to consider. So far this calculator design is concerned. You can change the color as instead of blue, maybe say cyan or yellow, whatever it is there. Anyway, so first you have to add the components, and then all the components that you will include into that container, we have to define them and then add this. And then finally, this will give a look like, which is basically just a structure, but we have to add the event. Now, how the event can be added, we have already discussed about. We have to register the action listener, which action listener that you want to use here. Here usually the mouse being the action listener can be added there, add action listener for specified event to be controlled. And then background color, whatever it is there, you can choose it. Size of that calculator also you can decide using set size function, and then set text. Set text is basically set the text to the level to S. That means whatever the levels are there, you can set the text like, and then get text is basically return to the text that you have labeled it here. So here basically 1, 2, 3, all these things, the text that we have set to each button like, and then it will basically return the values. So whether value will be here in the text field or the value will be here, all those things can be here. Now, in addition to this, as you see, these are the few other, it is not the text actually, they are basically for some operation, and those operation means if we click it, it basically okay, action is that, okay, whatever the results it is there, and then what the subsequent things will be entered into this, it will appear, and then the addition of the two operands will take place. So, this is the idea actually, it is there. Now, so the idea is that we have to first design the layout and then place all the components in it, and then finally define the event handling mechanism. So, these are the steps, major steps are involved here. Now, let us see the stepwise everything okay, one by one for each discussion here. Now, this is the first step. In this step, what we do is that, as you see here, let us go slowly so that you can understand about it. So, we are creating a calculator extends JFrame and implement action listener because we want to include event there. Now, so first we create a JFrame, and this is the F is the JFrame, and then text field that is given as a L, and S0, S1 and S2 are the three strings that we have considered for the two operands and one result actually. So, calculator is the constructor, initially they are basically null string. So, initially calculator is basically has the null value like, and then we have to go to the main method. The main method create a frame F using swing calculator. So, it will be basically title here or it will be display here swing calculator look like. So, with these things it will basically create like this one. Now, if we go put the next step, our step 2, and then in the step 2, as you see, we just use one UI manager. It is defined in the Java Swing itself set look and feel UI manager dot get system look and feel class name. So, is basically automatically defined whichever the look that you can have. So, it is basically that this is the default look that we have used it here, and if suppose it is not able to decide this UI manager, then it will just simply throw an error like this one. Anyway, so we can this one and get system look and feel class name is basically give you what are the UI manager that you are including. It is just same as the layout manager concept. It is here in the Java Swing explicitly it is called the user interface manager, UI manager like. Anyway, then we create a calculator object C is a type. We have already designed the constructor there with initial value S0 equals to S1 equals to S2 equals to null string like, and then we create a text field. JL text field is there, and set editable, that means text field can be editable. We can type something here also. This is why it is make editable, and is a false means no editable is possible. So, we cannot type anything here. And then we create so many buttons B0 to B9 for the numeric button, and B8 to BM for addition, subtraction and division, multiplication for equal, and B equal are the two also we have created it anyway. And then we add all these buttons, or we create the button B0 with some label as it is shown here. So, we are just okay. We are continuing the step 2 again, because there are few more items to be added there, and so we are adding all these items. So, all buttons are there, 0 to 9 buttons. All these basically some addition, subtraction, multiplication, all these buttons are there with label, all these things are there. And then B, another button is created with dot. So, point is there, and B equal another button also will be added. Now, J panel P equals to new panel, we create one panel. That is a panel is basically we want to include, this is basically rather we can say instead of frame it is a panel actually. So, in this panel we want to add all these things there. Now, we are defining the action listener method here. So, BM, BD, BS, BA for this class component actually here in this case calculate the component. So, we are adding some methods that okay, if we press BM, then what of action that it will produce. So, these are the things it is declared here, and then so these are the action listener for all components those we have included here, we have added it there. And then finally, we add all the buttons and labels and text field into the panel. So, this is the statement for that. So, this completes the addition of all the elements into the button side by side, and then this one. What is my suggestion is that you just do one step and then run it, check it that how it is going on. So, usually if you do everything together and then you may not find that how it is working. So, first create the button and then complete it and then run it and see the output. Then add buttons, then run it, see how it is coming, add text field, run it, see, and this thing. So, one by one if you do it, you will be able to have the good feeling that how it is working actually for you. And then next step is basically once the all components are added into the button, and we have to define the action performed for each what is called the component. So, here is the routine for action performed that you have to write it. Now, here if s dot character 0, that means the first character is 0 or it is less than 9 or it is this one. So, this basically go on appending here. So, if you type something here in this one, so it will go on appending here. So, 45.6, so it will 45.6 will be display here like that. So, this is basically the first thing that we are doing, and then so this is basically the okay in continuation. Our next is here we are reading if the different things are, for example, if this equals, right, this thing is there, then it basically sum, and then if this is C, the clear, so C button is there, if we then it is basically what will happen, and then so these are the different actions. If something is happened, for example plus or minus or division, then it basically what it will do, all these things. So, whenever we press it, it basically read one string, another reads two string. So, there those string and it is there, and then result will be obtained. So, this is the procedure by which the different actions can be listens, and for these actions the consequence can be added there, and then operation will be there, and finally as you see here, finally the result will be stored there, and the result will be like this. So, set text is a label, that is mean text field area, it can shown it here. Now, so idea is, okay, how a calculator can be designed, I have given an idea about it. So, two things are there. First you have to plan the entire layout, and then according to the layout you have to decide that what are the different components are to be included, and then you include those components, and then you have to add the action handling mechanism, that is all. So, this way you can we will be able to do it. So, this program as I have given for your practice, I should advise you to run this program, and then you will see how it is working, and then part by part program execution is better suggested, so that you can understand this concept clearly. Anyway, so we have learned about AWT and swing, and these are the things very much essential for window programming, other than the simple programming that we have learned regarding multi-threading, input output handling, and then encapsulation, all those things are there, but this will add more color to your programming arena actually. And here obviously you can have the answer that whether both string and AWT can be punched together or not. Obviously it is possible, and then as you see, if you compare AWT and string, then they are comparable in terms of many other parameters, but one parameter is that swing gives you much more elements than the AWT. It is much more actually. Now, I just left it as an exercise that how many classes that you can use so far the AWT is concerned, and how many swing it is there. Now, okay, you can count it and you can just learn it that okay, swing is much more elaborative, more voluminous, however easier than the AWT to use it, and it gives you more what is called a smart looking program development. So, thank you for your attending this module.